Yo, what's going on, everybody? This your boy Sean. We are back with another episode of Talking Movies. And I am joined by my co-host, Varangian Vigilante. How's it going? How was your week?
Perfect. Well, it was a very busy week, like a lot of work, but it was fun and very productive. But hey, it's the weekend now, and let's get ready for Raw Deal, or how the wonderful title is in German, Der City High, which means the city shark. Like I think we talked about it already when we talked Cobra, that somehow in that year, they were like, let's call all these movies city something. Like Cobra is City Cobra in German. Yeah, Raw Deal is the City High, the City Shark, and A Better Tomorrow is the City Wolf. so everything is city.
Can't even keep it simple with the title.
Yeah.
Man, like if you're gonna use city, you could at least have said Chicago Shock or something.
It's something, but it's like, hey, let's have city and a cool animal. So apparently, maybe they ran out of cool animals. Then, I mean, there should be a movie, The City Spider. Like, I have to look if there's a city spider.
Well, this was a movie that I've been wanting to talk about for a good while, because it's like we talk most of the heavy hitters of Arnold's, except True Lies. We still haven't talked True Lies yet. But Raw Deal is one of those oddities that's like stuck in between some of Arnold's bigger hits. You had Commando the year before, Terminator before that. You got Predator in '87, and of course, his comedy hit Twins in '88. But I was considering doing a double feature and add the Red Heat to it, but I figured we saved that for another stream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, Raw Deal is an odd one because when you watch the movie doesn't feel like Arnold like in '86. This movie feels more like hey, Boston Chris. This movie feels more like a movie that should have been done in Arnold's earlier career. But hey, it was. I mean, I think the script is older, and it was basically just done because Arnold has still a contractual obligation with Dino De Laurentiis. So it was like, hey, do this movie, and then like we're done. So, like I said, like in the pre-show, it feels like a 70s crime movie that is forced into an 80s action flick.
Yeah, it most definitely does.
Yeah.
And another thing about it is, it doesn't have the massive amount of Arnold one-liners. Yeah,
like,
it's got a decent amount, but they're not like, oh man, that was a great one-line about Arnold.
This sad thing is that the best one-liner is actually not voiced by Arnold. It's still my favorite. I mean, it's so corny and everything. Hercules. We have to talk like Hercules in New York. Like, I will show you how to throw the discus.
This is just original top of that.
Like my favorite is actually like right in the beginning is like, you want to be witness.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. You can tell like that the mafioso was looking forward to the moments I can voice it.
I like the mafia in this film. Of course, I think all three actors who portrayed the mafia leads were really good.
Yeah.
Especially the great Robert Davi, who played like almost a henchman and stuff.
There's also,
he was awesome. Go ahead.
Maybe that's a movie for next week. There's like the Bad Pack, which is like an action movie with Robert Davi, where he's the lead, and also Ralph Möller is it, Sven Ole Thorsen is in it. So this, and I also think that Roddy Piper is in it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, maybe next week we're gonna talk the Bad Pack. It's like, because Robert Davi is such an underrated actor. Like, he may not have invented the wheel, but he's fantastic in everything he is in.
Yeah, he is, man. And another movie we gotta talk is his amazing role in License to Kill, the James Bond film.
Yeah,
love him in that film.
In general, like, we have never talked a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
That's
we have, and I know some people are doing retrospectives on the James Bond films. It's a lot to get through, but one thing about the Bond films is there's a lot to take out of it. You know, especially when you got multiple people portraying the character.
Exactly.
But back to Raw Deal. Like, it's interesting you brought up Dino De Laurentiis. Arnold wanted to get out of this contract with him, so he chose this film. But also, this film is what led to Arnold doing a future film only a few years later in Total Recall.
Recall, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Total Recall, the script has been passed around in Hollywood, and Arnold always wanted to do it. So he was like, I think the moment that the Dino De Laurentiis company like went bankrupt, Arnold was immediately like to what is it, Coca-Cola? Yeah, like get this script, I want to do it.
And it's funny because Dino had the script, and
Kenneth.
What up, Kenneth? They wanted Patrick Swayze to be the lead role in Total Recall.
I mean,
it would have been interesting in its own.
Would have been interesting. I think, of course, the main thing people can now not think about a movie without Arnold is because Arnold was in it. But either way, you know, I think that was also like, I think that was also one of the bigger mistake that the remake did is they should have not called the Total Recall, but should have used the name of the actual novel by Philip Dick. Yeah. Because of course it's like adapt, but we already talked Total Recall, so let's not get too distracted. Because Raw Deal is a really cool movie that deserves to be talked more often. Like, and especially it's one of these movies that when I was young I didn't exactly appreciate, but it grows on me and now I really like it. I think also the reason why I like it is the reason because in the past it was a little bit strange. Because the character tries so hard to be cool, like, and just like the quote I use, like magic or magnets. I mean, that one line is so stupid.
And not only that, it's like Arnold is out of his element by being the undercover.
Yeah,
like. He don't look like the type that could just go deep undercover and try and manage that.
He also doesn't behave like it. I mean, let's face it. If he wouldn't have a blob arm on, he would have killed him like in the first days. Because he was like an arrogant prick to the dawn.
So there's a reason why Dobby's character
is smart alike, smart as not.
Keller did not like him from the moment he saw him, and the Mafia Boss played by Sam Wanamaker, and it's funny the Mafia Boss goes by Luigi. But yeah, like he had some great lines in the film too. It's like he was pretty cool in there as well, and they did not like him. They like keep him at a distance, and even the part where Polanski as a and I got to shout out the name that he used because when he told the cop Joseph P. Brenner, and like, what does P stand for? Pussy.
That cool is also like but End of Days is a really cool movie. That's the one we probably have to talk around Christmas once, because those of course plays between Christmas and New Year, so it's a Christmas movie technically. But like a lot of these one-liners are, like the pussy stand for pussy. Like it should have like pussy hound, then it would be cool. But doesn't mean you're pussy. Doesn't mean you have a pussy.
But it's just funny that he just blurted that out of his mouth, like as an indirect way to describe the cop as well.
Yeah, I think that Ed Lauder, who plays that cop, should have had a bigger role because I actually really like his cop.
Yeah,
he has like this dry humor.
When I saw him, because we've seen him in other films, and I'm like, I like his type of humor, and like he's not a cop that's about breaking balls. Like he's just
like he has like a very dry humor, and he's like one that thinks first and then acts.
Which a lot of cops
which is a talent that a lot of cops actually should have.
They lack it. But it's like the more you watch the film, the more you appreciate just the quality of it. It doesn't fit an Arnold style film, and like you said, it feels more like a 70s film than an 80s film, but they make it work for some odd reason.
Yeah, it works. It really feels like an anachronism, the whole movie, but it's entertaining. There's like not a boring minute. Like, I mean, and there's so many things that really shouldn't work. Like the whole ending scene that feels like it should have been like an after credit scene.
I will say that the shootout at the end in the boss's warehouse is like, you could see there was a lot of errors in it. Like the functionality of the shootout, there was really like closure space, so you could see Arnold struggling to get the gun off the shoot.
Hey, Arnold was nimble as a cat in there.
But you know what? You just gloss over it because it is what it is. And
yeah, exactly. But in general, you know, of course, like the whole continuity and also how to use the set. Like, of course, there's like errors in it, but the shootout by itself, like, you know, the blood bags and everything, it's really decent. Like there is you know, when you compare it actually with Cobra that came out the same year, this movie is actually like gorier than Cobra, even though Cobra feels more menacing.
That I will say Cobra has the more menacing kills than this one.
Yeah.
The most menacing one was probably the one where the guy got smashed between the elevator and the van.
Exactly.
You know, like, so just the way it was shot was fantastic.
But there's more blood in Roddy. Yeah.
But you know, I was gonna say the way the movie opened with the mob, with the informant being protected by the police, and they go in there and they kill all of them. That was well done, well shot. I love that opening scene.
Yeah, opening. It's also interesting with the opening scene because none of these actors appears later actually. So maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe this was shot prior and they just used it. But yeah, it's nevertheless a really cool opening scene. And of course, then we get the introduction of Arnold's character Kaminsky as a sheriff, and we also know why he's a sheriff, like in a small town, because he was a little bit too tough to a child molester. There is no too tough. There is no too tough. Yeah. So he should have got the medal.
The guy was still living. Okay, he was still living, so you just be happy that he survived my ass. The ass kicking I get.
Exactly. So immediately, you know, he was, of course, because we know like the justice is evil, and the justice protects like the evil people. So there's already a really good setting that his character is immediately sympathetic.
And another thing is, considering the quote that I use, it's interesting how the parallels to that first Dirty Harry movie, because of the killer who was killing people, and then when Dirty Harry gets on, he's too rough, and the killer fabricated it, but they always say like, you beat up the killer, you wounded him and stuff, and it's abuse of power. I'm like, this motherfucker killing people left and right for fun.
Yeah.
And yet you say, just because I shot him in the leg, that I abuse him.
Yeah. I mean, I do have to say later with the shootout, you know, in the end of the movie, I think there's gonna be a lot of paperwork because there's a lot of bullets wounding the backs of people that were running away.
And it's funny because, like, he killed all those people just to get his job back, because that was the deal.
Yeah. I mean, in general, like also when he was killing the people on the construction site, I think he enjoyed killing a little bit too much because he even brought a soundtrack to shoot people. And he put the rolling, put the stones in it again. Let's get killing some motherfuckers.
Hey, the way he was driving around taking them all out was hilarious, though, man.
It is, and also like, how could you tell like from the distance that everybody was really like a bad guy? Also like construction work.
Hey, they were pointing guns, so he's like, instant kill. I don't care. I can see a gun, and you know how Arnold uses with his guns.
Actually, that would be a really fun movie. I don't know if it's a movie like this. That's basically shot by like a people who thinks like he's an action hero, and he sees the people has guns, but he's just going around shooting like normal people, and he thinks he's like the hero or something.
He's on some high hallucination for him to think that.
Yeah, it's something like that. It would actually be a really funny movie. But yeah, I mean, it's like an 80s action movie in the strong Reagan years. So it's like it's okay, you know. They're bad guys, and you know, bad guys are not supposed to survive. So,
and it's funny. The movie is called Raw Deal, and then like I you kind of wait for that title to play off in the line, you know.
They mentioned it once, like in the movie, I think.
Yeah, play it like never get a raw deal and stuff like that. But they kind of fumbled the ball on really playing up to that title of the movie.
Yeah, it's actually the German title, like the City High, actually is not that bad. Like when you see the movie, because he's like a shark.
And on top of that, you know, the shock of using a bomb to scare the police out of the building to get the drugs and money back.
Yeah,
that's you know, pretty like City Shock is a fitting title for that. But let's talk about him actually, you know, talking with the FBI man and getting to deal of, you know, infiltrate the mob and you'll get your job back if you complete. Because the whole point at the beginning when they killed the mob informant was that the FBI boss' son was involved.
Yeah,
and he got killed. So this was pretty much a revenge for him, as opposed to, you know, Kaminsky just being there to take out the bad guys. It was more of his revenge story.
Yeah, it was, and of course, like he was not in a position like to act on it, so he went like behind the back and basically said to Kaminsky, you know, you want your old job back, like I can figure it out somehow, but you know, the only person like I can trust, I can't go through the bureau and everything because they have somebody inside there, so I have to get somebody up from the outside. And yeah, and since like his wife didn't like the boring life in the rural area, so he was accepting it and faking his own death. I think it's like by blowing up an oil company to fake his own death. I think it was a little bit overboard.
Way overboard.
Yeah, it's expensive. I don't think the $45,000 from Harry will cover that.
And then he goes into straight character, where, you know, he infiltrates one of the local mob bosses, rivals, Martin Hammer Leminski. And I love the whole pool bar fight, you know, because it's typical Arnie in the 80s. You know, it's like a sequel to Terminator, you know, when he fight the people in the bar.
I mean, he threw like a guy up there and he was hanging on the air duct.
Yeah. He hanging on the air duct and stuff. But yeah, it was pretty funny. And then he drives the truck right through it. It's straight 80s action on you.
Yeah, like you said, you can say this movie is silly. You can say this movie is feels like it is written by a 14-year-old. You can say a lot of things, but you can't say that this movie is not entertaining. Like, there's not a boring moment in it. Very fast-paced, a lot of action, a lot of fun. If it's intentional or not unintentional. But you can't be bored by this movie. Yeah,
and just seeing him, you know, work his way as an underling in the mob is pretty damn entertaining. Even if, you know, you could just see that it doesn't fit.
Because this is not a role that Arnold usually has. So,
no.
But
it's not.
But it works.
That'd be like putting him in the movie Deep Cover and replacing him with Lawrence Fishburne. And he talking with Jeff Goldblum. I'm like, yo, the character dynamics will be off the chain. which is another movie we gotta talk in the future.
Yeah.
But I just like, Arnold being the smart ass and getting in there, immediately ruffling feathers, talk about his time in Miami, because the character that he's playing is based from Miami, and how he killed people before. You need the name and address of the people I killed. And he's just being arrogant at the same time while he's undercover.
I think what really helps the movie also is that you can totally see that Arnold had a lot of fun doing it, despite him not wanting to do the movie in the first place, because he wanted to do Total Recall. He said he really had a great fun working with the director, with Irvin. So he saw this as Rico said, to learn something from Irvin and to work together with him. So you can really see that he had a great time on set.
And see, that's the difference between Arnold and Sylvester Stallone. Whereas Arnold's going to actually try and work with the director, Stallone's going to try and be the director, going over the head of the actual director. Yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I'm going to interject this. I'm like, oh, damn, you might as well just direct the movie then.
I mean, Arnold directed a movie and a TV episode.
Oh, yeah.
The Tales from the Crypt episode, and he directed a Christmas movie, Christmas in Connecticut.
I know the Tales of the Crypt, but the Christmas in Connecticut that I didn't know.
Which is actually, it's really just Christmas in Connecticut. It's like a very wholesome Christmas movie because Arnold loves Christmas. Yeah,
but yeah, the movie, Raw Deal is just a fun movie, and just the interactions with the mob, and especially Robert Davi's character Keller. Because one thing about Cher's character is that he was willing to bring him in easily.
Yeah,
like Paulo Roca was willing to bring him in because they needed some muscle.
Yeah. And it was easily convinced by the abilities and the skill set of Arnold.
Because one thing about the rival mob boss Hammer is that he's being pushed out by Luigi, but he's not going to take it easy. And they put a hit on Luigi when he was ready to leave the building, and they failed. How do you have all those guns shooting out the bus and not hit one person get hit at the end?
He was a good kid, though. The one there.
He was a good kid. He should have never stuck up at the last minute to get shot. I'm like, we need somebody to die in the scene. Or, hey, stick your head up and you get killed.
Yeah, actually, that Robert Davi's character Max, he actually was right the whole time. That do not trust.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
And I love his persistence on trying to dig up information on him. I know this guy is a fraud, so I'm gonna get the girl to dig up info. Who, she ends up falling in love. Amy.
Yeah.
She ends up falling in love with him.
Actually, she got the raw deal because she didn't get the dick. Maybe that's why the P stand for pussy.
Yeah, she ain't get nothing. She didn't even get him at the end. He was like, she got on the plane by herself with all the money, but she didn't get the man with it.
Yeah, which actually you might think in the beginning scene when his actual wife was introduced, though it's like, well, he should get rid of that bitch.
And take her.
Because that relationship didn't look healthy.
It sure didn't, man. But I love Keller's persistence on figuring out who this guy is.
Yeah.
And the fact that he got a ex-cop to the one who arrested the original Brenner to give him the information. It played into that fact that, Keller didn't trust him at all. And that's why I feel like you said earlier, his character could have went a little bit longer just to play up to that fact, and we would have gotten a fight between the two.
Yeah, I think he was his dad was really wasted, in the graveyard shootout. It was actually a really cool shootout scene.
I like the setup of it. I just felt like he should have escaped and set up another meet.
I also really like that the other people in the graveyard were hiding in the dugout grave from the shootout, which you just see like in the background. But I really like this because it totally makes sense, and it was like actually like in a movie that has of course some plot holes etc. in it. This was actually a very nice attention to detail.
Yeah, because if you're not gonna run away, at least hide in the hole where somebody's casket is already laid.
It's just like I like the angle. It's like the safest place at the graveyard actually.
But yeah, the graveyard scene was pretty cool. And another scene that I liked was the shootout with the Hammer when they were chasing them in the car.
Yeah.
I always love the fact that when Keller was like, yeah, we're going to chase him and ram him off the road, Kaminsky's like, well, the car is bigger than ours. And it's true. That car was bigger, stronger, and it was bulletproof resistant. So all their bullets were being wasted.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that was a great attention to detail. Because sometimes you get into these car chases and they don't bring up the fact that, yeah, this car is going to get wasted by the other one if it actually gets to a battle.
Yeah. No, this movie is. Yeah, there's. Like a lot of people say that it's one of the Arnold movies you don't have to watch. I would actually say it's one of the Arnold movies you should watch because it feels different, but still has like a familiarity to it. Like I said, it's this anachronism. It's like it really feels like Arnold time traveled and is in the 70s movie.
Which is funny because he was in the 70s, but he didn't have the action roles.
Yeah, even he was at like the streets of San Francisco, like a small role there, but yeah, of course, 70s was still when mid 70s later when he was trying to get the roles, and it was also like Conan was very long in pre-production, and then he. Then he lost muscle. He gained muscle again, and did the Mr. Olympia contest in 1980, which totally was rigged because he should have never won it. Like everybody can check out like the big drama that is the 1980s Mr. Olympia contest, and yeah, then Arnold should have never gotten it. But yeah. But so yeah, he was quite busy like during the 70s with switching careers. Otherwise, I think there would have been a lot of cool movies he could have done, and especially with a pre-Conan Arnold, where the accent is even a little bit thicker. I think there would have been some really fun movies, and because was it the Streets of San Francisco where he plays the muscle that is in the background and he has like the mustache where he awkwardly looks into the camera.
Hey, he's still learning, man.
I have to later look for that clip and have to send you because that one is hilarious.
Shit, there was a movie that he was in, I think 1980. Damn, the name of it, it just went out of my
mind. Stay Hungry?
No, but it was the Scavenger Hunt. His small appearance in the Scavenger Hunt, where he had the long hair and stuff. And I remember when I first watched it, I was like, "Ain't that Arnold?" And like that is Arnold.
Yeah, but he was also in a Western comedy with Kirk Douglas, where he played the handsome stranger.
Yeah, I remember that one too.
Yeah.
Like he has such small roles, but when you see him, you're like, oh, that's Arnold. So it would have been interesting to see how his progress was if he did more in the 70s.
Yeah.
But here in this film, even with the 70s aesthetic, it's still a bona fide Arnie film, and every scene, especially the action scenes, is straight Arnold. The fight at the store with the goons that he beat up early on in the pool bar.
And also like gun-wise, because of course it's like in an Arnold action movie there must be like an iconic gun. And here you have like a really nice variant of like the Heckler & Koch MP5.
I feel like him and Sylvester Stallone was competing for who could do the biggest like gun preparation scenes.
Yeah. That one for sure.
Between this Commando, Cobra, and Rambo, it's like they always gotta have those montages where they going through their weaponry.
Yeah. How would you actually like, because Cobra and this came actually out like almost at the same time? Which one do you think it's better, Cobra, the City Cobra, or the City High?
Interesting, because I was thinking about that. If you look at the criticism of the movie, a lot of them bring up Cobra and how it's similar. But I never thought that these two movies were similar to each other, because Cobra is a stone cold hardcore action, whereas this one is action but with more of a 70s aesthetic to it.
Yeah, and like more of a crime movie where you have like
you got the
like
mob involved.
Serial killer cult in Cobra, and he is like a mob story, mob tale, basically. So it's like, I also would say that both for me in terms of entertainment, they're both on par. But also, I would not like put them like in the same category. They're like both different subcategories of action.
Yeah, and in terms of like which movie is better, I kind of like Raw Deal a bit more because of its difference. It does have the crime element of mob bosses and the undercover work and stuff like that, trying to keep a low profile. Whereas Cobra is just, we know who the main character is. His bosses don't like him. Nobody likes him, but he gets the job done. And both of these characters are, you could say, different versions of Dirty Harry himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely. Personally, I would say that Raw Deal is actually the more well-rounded movie as a whole, while Cobra has the cooler scenes. Like you're the disease, I'm the cure. That one is one of the most iconic action scenes ever.
And it gifted us one of the weirdest scenes ever of him cutting people with a scissors.
We have to re-upload that one because I love it.
I re-uploaded for Christmas.
Oh yeah, we did. Oh my god! I swear that my brain is like a sieve. Like sometimes it's crazy.
I agree with you. Raw Deal is the better film, but Cobra's like the straight hardcore action, and I think both films are necessary.
If they ever would release the X-rated cut of Cobra, maybe this would be different. But like the version we have of Cobra, I think that Raw Deal is more well-rounded.
Yeah. Because I will say that Raw Deal do have the better actors.
Yes, Bridget Nielsen is not in it. So.
She's not in it. And another thing, like when we talk over, like the ties to Dirty Harry, the guy who played the villain in Dirty Harry was the police boss in Cobra.
Yeah.
And then Dirty Harry is referenced in Raw Deal. So again, it's like Dirty Harry has such an effect. That shows you how important that film was in the early 70s.
Like Eastwood is like the real OG.
He was the OG. The first cop does not give a damn about rules and stuff, and that's why we have all these renegade cops or cops that think they can bend the rules.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Raw Deal is just a fun film. It's like I said, it's that odd Arnie film that takes place in between his bigger films. And we mentioned earlier, Red Heat. I like Red Heat, and we're going to talk about that. But my problem is, it felt so against Arnold with him not being vocal in it.
Yeah, and Red Heat is. I also don't think that the body thing works. Like, there's stuff I really like about Red Heat, but I think that Red Heat could have been a better movie in many ways. It's also, of course, that with, I think, Walter Hill did it. That Walter Hill and Arnold did not see eye to eye. Walter Hill wanted to do a different movie. Arnold wanted to do a different movie. And what we got was like not a good clash of both styles.
Yeah. And I always felt that movie was a vehicle for John. I mean, for Belushi.
Yeah.
for him to do the principal the following year.
I do think that that Red Heat is one of the best starting scenes.
Yeah.
They're like, but then it does not like deliver.
Yeah, that's why when I thought about it, I was like, we better not do a double feature on these two films.
Yeah, I do think it's like it deserves like its own, and because I'm a big fan of Walter Hill.
Yeah, me too. And we still got to do 48 Hours.
Yeah, and have you also watched the Western movie he did 2 years ago?
I think I did.
With Willem Dafoe.
Yes.
That one was actually really good. Like, you know, for a very small budget, it was like a really good Western.
Yeah, Walter Hill got a great catalog of films. You know, and I feel like with Red Heat, it, like I said, it's just the clash of him and Arnold.
Yeah.
And you could just tell the movie was more of a vehicle to get Jim Belushi on more than it was for Arnold.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, but it's gonna be a fun discussion when we have like that movie.
Yeah, but and like I said, both movies takes place in between Arnold's bigger films. But Raw Deal always got like the raw deal from the critics and all that stuff, and it didn't make a lot of money. It was one of the least successful movies. But like we said earlier, the reason it was least successful, it hurt Dino De Laurentiis, and it fast tracked the Total Recall.
Yeah, it's crazy how things sometimes work.
So this movie was a necessary evil.
Yeah, the soundtrack of this movie is also really good. You know, you have this one tune that is going through. So also would also like to totally recommend to check out like the soundtrack.
Yeah, it had me worried a bit there when the song was playing during the beginning when he was chasing the guy. You know, it was okay, but it was like, what's this? This ain't no Arnold action starting music. But the score actually gets better.
I like this dun dun dun.
Yeah. But yeah, Raw Deal is a great movie, and it's been one that I've been wanting to talk about for a good while. Great cast, you know, some fun one-liners, and just great action. You know, the scene at the gravel pit where he's just driving around, killing everybody, and then he gets caught in a big ass bulldozer. And I was like, oh, this could be the end of it.
Yeah, it's also interesting because he he gets some wounds from it, but of course the way he moves, like it's like it's just like a flash wound that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like they could shoot me all they want, they're not gonna kill me because I'm the star.
Yeah, because I really like that they went through with through the whole when they started with the construction site and later went like to the villain's lair, that you can see like his leather jacket, got more and more holes, and you saw the blood through. I think there's even like still one later. Yeah, I mean, like here you can see like.
I was gonna say that Arnold really nailed the slick back hair look.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, you can see it even better.
Yeah.
Like it's an unusual look for Arnold, but hey, he's Arnold. He's nailing it like.
But he really nailed that look, Because I remember when I was a kid watching it, I'm not used to this slick back hair of his.
Yeah.
But it was such a different look. And again, that's one of the reasons why Raw Deal wasn't as talked about, because how it's presented as on being undercover and all that stuff. It just didn't feel like an Arnold movie at the time. But again, years go by and you start to appreciate it more and more.
Yeah, because I can't even blame the marketing, because when you look at the posters, they they made it clear that Arnold is Schwarzenegger. And also the trailer, which was also very well done, is it's like Raw Deal. Nobody gives Schwarzenegger Raw Deal. So they didn't even name the character, like it's immediately like Schwarzenegger.
Well, he had two different names, so he didn't want to conflict it.
Yeah, Kaminsky, Brenner. I love that they gave it like with the undercover copy with like a German name.
And then of course, you know when he finds out who the mole was, who the person who gave up the information was actually the prosecutor.
Yeah.
You know, you had to resign or be prosecuted. Started out, that was the line the prosecutor gave him, and then he came back at the end and gave it to him. And the guy was stupid. He gave him the gun.
He set him up for it. He set him up because he wanted to kill him. Let's face it.
He wanted to kill him, but it was like, hey, I give you this gun. You can either try and attempt to shoot me and fail, or you can just kill yourself. The choice is yours.
You totally set him up for this because he wanted to kill him, but of course, he can't kill another cop just because he's there.
But yeah, his death was satisfying. And again, we don't really get enough of him because they tried to like keep it in the background that he was the one, the mole that gave up the info. But as soon as he came onto the scene to talk with the FBI boss, they're like, "Oh, it's him."
Yeah, it's really, some characters you say, "Oh, could have been more in it," but I really think, in editing, they really made it a very good runtime, well-rounded movie, and you still get everything.
Yeah, you get a whole lot.
Yeah, so this movie should have made money, in my opinion.
It should have. I felt like the word of mouth wasn't as strong as his other films before, and because of Cobra, the massive success of Cobra, and how balls to the wall that movie was when it came to action, and an amazing villain on top of that. I felt like people had high expectations for this one, and because Arnold's just fighting the mob and not some over the top villain, that people just like they wasn't feeling it.
I think that Stallone must have been very happy in those few months in '86.
Look, Cobra had a great over-the-top villain in Brian Thompson.
Yeah.
Like that villain. You remember how scary he was.
I think I would have really loved to see like all the X-rated stuff with him because that would have been even more gorier.
I would have loved to see Schwarzenegger and Thompson in the same film.
It's I mean, of course, Terminator.
Not that though. in a more streamlined, with Thompson being a bigger role.
Nice night for a walk.
But yeah, Raw Deal is a great film.
It is, and also, if you haven't seen it in a while, actually recommend to rewatch it because it's a movie that's get up when you rewatch it because you have different expectations.
Yeah, and especially a film that didn't get the proper love that it deserved back then.
Yeah,
it's getting more appreciated now, and people love it. Considering I posted it in my story, and I got some good reactions off it. So
it's like it's a sleeper hit.
Yeah, exactly. And since you brought it up, I'm gonna go ahead and set up that movie that you brought up with Robert.
The Backpack is that's because that's actually a really cool action movie also that barely anybody talks about. And I also got my monthly comic book delivery.
Oh.
So I can also show.
And Vernon Wells is in that movie too.
Yeah, he's a very small. He's a very small role. This movie is actually a fantastic cast, but Vernon Wells has a very small role in there.
Nice. So you got a comic haul.
Yeah. First of all, I want to show the sad thing. This is basically new comic books for a whole month. Not a lot of things because not a lot of good things are coming out, and there's also actually very few books because there's of course some Vampirella Dead Flowers variants, of course, to support Sarah. Her covers are awesome. So here's Vampirella Dead Flowers cover A, Lucio Perillo.
Man, my shop didn't have that one, man.
Man, damn.
I usually get both covers, but I only got the Sarah one.
Yeah, of course. Then I got the Sarah.
Nice.
which is beautiful. You have to talk Jeff. Probably Jeff has some doubles. And then I also got the Virgin variant from Sarah.
Nice.
Which usually I don't get, but hey, it's Sarah's cover, so of course I'm getting it. Then issue number 4 of Christopher Priest's Vampirella. So of course, must read Christopher Priest. Then after a quite long wait, issue number 2 of Fire and Ice. That felt like 4 or 5 months that it took to bring out.
Hopefully it don't take 4 or 5 months for issue 3.
Yeah. Issue number 6 of Red Sonja. Also the beautiful Perillo cover, which is it's a decent read. It's not the best thing ever. There's still some things where I wish that Dynamite had an editor that actually knows the Hyperborean age, but Grünberg is not the worst writer, and she's getting a little bit better with each issue. So it's not one of these runs where it's like, oh no, cancel it.
As long as Walter Giovanni is still on there,
yeah,
and the story is just decent enough, I'm sticking with it.
Yes, me too. Then issue number 6 of Conan, the Lee cover.
You know, I'm not a big Jay Lee fan.
Me neither.
I saw that, I was like, man, they ain't got no other covers.
But the thing is, with my comic shop, when I subscribe to a title, I'm automatically getting cover A. So, so I always have cover A. And of course, the best cover of issue number 6 is the Panosian one.
Nice.
Yeah, so of course that was like my additional choice. So comic books for a whole month. Not a lot of other stuff coming out, but I also got some back issues. Since I've almost completed all the prison covers for the Red Sonja run, this is the 1 in 15 variant.
Nice.
Of issue number 3. Then also this one was still missing, the 1 in 15 variant of issue number 7. Jenny Frizzle's cover for the Simone run are just so fantastic. And then the 1 in 15 for, I think that's issue number 13.
Nice. I love that.
Absolutely nice. Then this is, I bought this one again. I already have the full run, issue number 65 from the first Dynamite run, the Watson cover. I actually just got this because my shop had it for the cover price there, and somehow eBay, I don't know why, but the Watson cover is so expensive, and I have no idea why. Because it's not even that, I mean, it's of course a beautiful cover, sexy, but I have no idea why the cover B of issue number 65 is so expensive.
It's hard figuring out like why some of the later issues I can understand. The Perillo from 76 to 80.
Yeah, I'm so lucky that I got most of them for cover price.
Same. Yeah. So I think the last issue I paid a bit more for.
Yeah, I think the last issue I paid $50 to buy it from the US seller. But yeah, then this is I'm also a big fan of Robert Heck. Robert Heck's covers always beautiful. Love these like Chilling Adventures of Sabrina covers. But and I'm also currently because when this came out, I was not reading it. The Swords of Sorrow crossover. This is issue number 5, and I love these Heck covers because these pay tribute. Yeah, because these pay tribute to the pulps and to the trade paperbacks of back in the day of when Deja Torres, John Carter of Mars and so was released. And issue number 6, the Heck cover. So I think I'm just missing 3 and 4, the Heck covers. But yeah. Then this one is like, I already posted that on Instagram, which I think is one of the most underrated Bill Sienkiewicz covers, called The Conqueror. Yeah, from a very underrated, I think the middle run. They had Marvel of Carl. And of course, then I got 2 books that will complete an AOK that I have to send out soon. Savage Dragon, 71. And which actually is also a bondage cover. And 73.
Nice.
So this will go to you, naturally.
Appreciate that, man.
But yeah, it's a nice small haul, but it also really shows that currently, at least for what I like to read, there's not a lot out there.
Yeah, I just want to share. I did a whole video on my channel. It was a short, so it's a short video just showing off the books. But this one was the big one that I got.
Ah, nice.
So
coming out at Harris.
And shout out to Black Key Comics. He was the one that brought it up on the show like months ago. I finally got a copy of it, decent price. So shout out to that. And this one I had picked up. This was off of eBay, sort of cheap. Spanferella Summer, issue number 1.
It is an exclusive interview with Christian Bale.
Yeah, but it's either you see that or you see Vampirella, but
yeah, Vampirella, yeah,
she gets the attention, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, my haul's been pretty light. I need to get some of the variants. I'm still enjoying Gargoyles. Of course, I love the cartoon. This is one of my favorite cartoons.
The cartoon was really good.
And as long as Greg Weisman is writing this, I'm sticking with it because he's the only Gargoyles writer that should be writing.
Yeah, I was not getting this one because I'm not that deep into Gargoyles. But it's good that it's out there with the original creator.
I'm enjoying Blade. Like when it comes to Marvel, I don't really enjoy a whole lot of this stuff, but Blade has been pretty good.
That's good, yeah.
Love my Saturday morning adventures with the Ninja Turtles, man. Just childhood nostalgia right here. And of course, it's got Burnham and Sholin from the Ghostbuster team doing it, so I always like to support them. I still get my Hellboys, giant robot Hellboy. I'm enjoying the Conan run.
It's really good, and there's also you can really see that Sub is getting better from issue to issue when he finally put off the shackles that Marvel put on him when he was writing there.
Yeah, he had to get that out the way so he can really go on there. This series, Abbott 1979. I enjoyed the previous 2 volumes, so this is the last volume to complete the series. This is issue number 3. I'm looking forward to reading it because I enjoyed Abbott. I love the time period of the 70s, set in Detroit. It's just a fun read, and especially with the supernatural element. I would definitely recommend checking out this series if you haven't. And of course, Vampirella, Dead Flowers, the Sarah cover, and She-Hulk to complete the issue. And that's pretty much my haul for the 2 weeks. Small haul, so that's how I like it. And with that in mind, I'm gonna set up the stream for next week. We're gonna talk the Bad Batch.
That was gonna be really fun because it's also really a movie that really went under the radar of a lot of people, despite being a lot of cool actors in it.
And the fact that Roddy Piper is in it. Hey man, we need to talk more Roddy Piper.
Absolutely.
We gotta talk that film he did with Sonny Chiba. That's free on YouTube.
Yeah.
I was like, especially considering that Sonny Chiba passed away a few years ago, and we gotta talk more Sonny Chiba films. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next week. And then
me too.
And we'll start planning. I want to say here live in February, we're gonna do our annual Black History Month movies. And for the first 2 weeks of February, we're going to do our show on Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. Because Friday, you got MegaCon weekend, the first week of February. And then I got a doctor's appointment later that Friday, the following week. So we're going to do 2 Thursday episodes of Talking Movies in February.
Thursday Madness.
Yeah. And we're going to kick off talking the Dynamites. Willie Dynamite and Black Dynamite. That's what we're going to kick off. So, yeah, I'm great.
I love blaxploitation movies, so I'm always looking forward to February.
Yes, it's always fun. So, thanks again, everybody that joined us in the chat. very small chat, but shout out to Kenneth and Boston Chris Comics. Appreciate your insights. And we will talk Red Heat in the future, most definitely.
Yeah.
So any parting words, Vivi?
Rewatch Raw Deal, and just have a fantastic weekend ahead of you. I hope, like everybody, eat a pizza or burger or whatever you like, and have a fantastic movie weekend. I'll for sure tomorrow I'm gonna order pizza and watch movies. Maybe even already watch The Bad Bag tomorrow. So yeah, it's most important. A lot of shit happening in the world, but hey, have fun as long as you can.
That's right. Enjoy life to the fullest. And with that in mind.
Yeah, and also don't let CGC go easy off the hook.
Don't let them off the hook. Hey, Thorough is doing a great job with that.
Yes. And for me, who's like not into grading books, it's so entertaining.
And it's funny because I gotta find out I have a book at CGC that should have been graded by now, but it might come back some bullshit.
If you're lucky, maybe you can still make a 9.9 pre-screen on it.
And by the way, before I get off, I just want to say Comic Book G-Man is having a show tomorrow with TM Nerdy as the guest, and I'm most likely going to be on there with him as well. So definitely check out the Comic Book G-Man.
Yeah, Robert also is fantastic stuff. Jeff is also always on there, so of course, always check it out.
Yep. And with that in mind, I hope y'all have a great rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. And we will see you next week. Peace.